In a world saturated with uncertainty, relentless change, and often overwhelming external pressures, the human quest for peace and resilience remains constant. Few philosophical concepts offer as potent and practical a remedy as the Stoic principle known as the dichotomy of control. This core teaching, most famously articulated by the former slave Epictetus, instructs us to rigorously distinguish between what is within our power and what is not, focusing our energy exclusively on the former while cultivating a profound indifference, apatheia, towards the latter. This is not passive resignation, but an active strategy for liberation, empowerment, and genuine tranquility. To grasp its full depth and transformative potential requires moving beyond sound bites. This detailed exploration delves into the historical roots, philosophical underpinnings, practical applications, psychological benefits, common misinterpretations, and enduring relevance of this cornerstone Stoic doctrine. Historical roots and philosophical foundations. 1. Stoicism's emergence. Founded by Zeno of Citium in Athens, teaching at the Stoa Poikile, painted porch, hence Stoicism. Early Stoicism, Zeno, Cleanthes, Chrysippus, focused heavily on physics, understanding the rational, deterministic cosmos, logos, logic, reasoning, and ethics, how to live well. The concept of control emerged from this integrated worldview. If the universe is governed by a rational, divine principle, logos, and humans possess reason, a fragment of logos, then human flourishing, eudaimonia, depends on aligning one's own reason with the cosmic reason. This alignment hinges on discerning what is truly up to us. 2. Epictetus, the definitive voice. Born a slave in Hierapolis, Phrygia, his teachings, recorded by his student Arian in the Discourses and the concise Enchiridion handbook, provide the clearest and most influential exposition of the dichotomy. The foundational statement: some things are up to us while others are not. Up to us are opinion, motivation, desire, aversion, and, in a word, whatever is our own doing. Not up to us are our body, our property, reputation, office, and, in a word, whatever is not our own doing. The core insight: our happiness and freedom depend entirely on correctly identifying and mastering the things up to us. Prohairesis, our faculty of choice, judgment, will, and assent. Everything else is externals, belonging to the realm of indifference, adiaphora. 3. The tripartite division, refinement by later Stoics. While Epictetus emphasized the binary, later Stoics, recognizing nuance, often spoke of a trichotomy of control. Things completely within our control: our judgments, opinions, desires, aversions, intentions, impulses, efforts. Essentially, the use of our faculty of prohairesis. Things partially/not completely within our control, but we can influence our health, partially, our skills, through practice, our wealth, through effort, our relationships, through our actions, the outcome of our efforts. These are subject to external factors. Our control lies only in the attempt, the action taken with the right intention, not the result. Things completely outside our control: the weather, the past, natural disasters, other people's thoughts/feelings/actions, death, societal events, the economy, winning or losing, fame or infamy. Practical focus: the Stoic strategy remains: focus absolutely on Category 1, your judgments and choices about Categories 2 and 3. Exert virtuous effort in Category 2, but remain indifferent to the outcome, which belongs to Category 3. Recognize Category 3 as completely outside your sphere and accept it accordingly. 4. The role of indifference, adiaphora. Stoics did not claim externals were meaningless. They recognized preferred indifference, proegmena, like health, wealth, good reputation, and dispreferred indifference, apoproegmena, like illness, poverty, bad reputation. Crucial distinction: while it's natural to prefer health to sickness, the Stoic sage recognizes that true good, virtue, and evil, vice, reside only in the correct or incorrect use of prohairesis. Externals are indifferent to our moral worth and ultimate flourishing, eudaimonia. They are materials to be used virtuously or viciously. Indifference, defined: not apathy or lack of care, but freedom from being emotionally ruled by whether these externals are present or absent. It's valuing virtue above all else. You act to secure preferred indifference if possible, but your happiness doesn't hinge on success. Deconstructing what is within our control. Prohairesis. 1. The faculty of choice. The innermost citadel of the self. It is our capacity for rational judgment, assent to impressions, volition, and moral agency. Not simply thoughts, it's the evaluated judgment we place on thoughts, sensations, and external events. An external event, e.g., rain, is outside control. The impression, "this rain is ruining my day," arises involuntarily. The assent to that impression, believing it's true and bad, and the subsequent desire/aversion, "I must make it stop," are acts of prohairesis within our control. We can withhold assent or reevaluate the judgment. Rain is water. It nourishes the earth. My plans can adapt. Will and intention are conscious decisions to pursue or avoid something based on our judgments. The intention to act virtuously, regardless of the outcome. 2. Specific elements within our control. Assent, giving or withholding agreement to initial impressions. This is the critical gatekeeper. Stoics practiced examining impressions before accepting them as true or good/bad. Judgment, our interpretation and evaluation of events, people, and situations. We control the meaning we assign. Is a setback a disaster or an opportunity to practice patience? Desire and aversion, specifically rational desire for what is truly good and rational aversion to what is truly bad. We control whether we desire externals as if they were good or virtuously use them. We control our aversion to externals as if they were evil or face them with courage. Impulse to act, the motivation arising from judgment, desire, or aversion. We control the impulse based on rational evaluation, not blind reaction. We can pause and choose a different course. Effort and endeavor, the energy and action we put into things within our sphere, practicing a skill, studying, acting kindly, preparing for a task. We control the attempt, the process, the doing with good intention. Character, while influenced by nature and habit, character is ultimately shaped by repeated acts of prohairesis, the judgments we make and the choices we enact over time. We are responsible for cultivating virtue through conscious practice. 3. The limits of control over self. Stoics acknowledged influences, upbringing, trauma, biological predispositions, ingrained habits. These shape the difficulty of exercising prohairesis well, but they do not eliminate the faculty itself or the possibility of its better use. Epictetus, a former slave, is the prime example. Habits, while powerful, habits are formed by repeated acts of prohairesis. We can, through conscious effort and new choices, reshape habits. It's difficult, but the choice to try resides within prohairesis. Emotions. Stoics distinguish between initial involuntary proto-emotions like a startle reflex and full-blown passions, which are judgments, assents to false impressions that externals are good or evil. We control the assent or judgment that fuels the destructive passion. We aim for rational, measured good feelings like joy, caution, and wishing. Deconstructing what is outside our control. 1. The vast expanse of the external. This encompasses everything that is not a direct function of our prohairesis. It is the realm of what happens to us rather than what we do with what happens. Key domains. The body, health, illness, strength, beauty, sensations, pain, pleasure as physical events, disability, aging, death. Possessions, wealth, poverty, property, material goods, losses. Reputation, what others think of us. Praise, blame, fame, infamy, social status. Other people, their thoughts, feelings, beliefs, judgments, choices, actions, attitudes. We cannot force others to think or act as we wish. Events, the past, the future, beyond our current intentions/actions, weather, natural disasters, political upheavals, economic shifts, accidents, luck, good or bad. Outcomes, the results of our actions, whether we succeed or fail, win or lose, get the job or not, are loved back or not. We control the attempt, not the result, which depends on countless external factors. 2. Why attachment to externals causes suffering. Futility. We waste immense energy trying to control the uncontrollable, leading to frustration, anger, and despair. We fight reality. Vulnerability, basing our happiness on externals, makes us hostage to fortune. When they are taken away, as they inevitably can be, our well-being collapses. It's building a house on sand. Anxiety and fear, constant worry about losing preferred indifference or encountering dispreferred ones. Fear of others' opinions, fear of failure, fear of illness, fear of death. Distraction from virtue, obsession with externals pulls our focus away from the only true good, cultivating excellence of character, virtue, within our prohairesis. Anger and resentment. When externals don't go our way, or others act against our wishes, we blame them or fate, generating destructive emotions. We fail to recognize their actions are outside our control. Practical applications, integrating the dichotomy into daily life. Mastering the dichotomy is a lifelong practice. Here are numerous techniques and applications. 1. The morning meditation. Purpose, not pessimism, but inoculation against surprise and emotional disturbance. Practice. Briefly contemplate potential challenges or dispreferred indifference you might face today: traffic, rude people, setbacks at work, minor discomforts. Visualize them clearly. Apply dichotomy. For each, is this within my control? What is within my control? My judgment about it, my reaction, my choice to remain calm, act justly, etc. Mentally rehearse responding virtuously. I will encounter frustration today, but I control my patience and my focus on doing my part well. 2. The evening examination, review. Purpose, self-assessment and learning. Practice, review your day. Ask, where did I confuse what's within versus outside my control? Where did I invest emotional energy in externals, outcomes, others' opinions? Where did I successfully focus on my judgments, choices, and actions? Where did I act virtuously, wisely, courageously, justly, temperately, in response to events? Acknowledge mistakes without self-flagellation, a judgment itself, and resolve to do better tomorrow. 3. Cognitive reframing, challenging impressions. Purpose, exercise control over judgments. Practice, when faced with a disturbing event or impression. Pause, don't immediately react or assent. Identify the impression. I have the impression that this traffic jam is terrible and ruining my day. Apply dichotomy. Is the traffic jam itself within my control? No. Is my being late completely within my control? No, though I could have left earlier. What is within my control? My judgment about the jam, my emotional response, my choice to use the time productively or calmly. Challenge the judgment. Is this traffic jam truly terrible? Or is it merely inconvenient? Does it objectively make me a worse person? Can I use this time to listen to a podcast, reflect, or practice patience? Choose a virtuous judgment. This delay is outside my control. Getting upset won't move traffic. I choose to accept this moment and focus on what I can do right now. Breathe deeply and remain calm. 4. Focusing on process, not outcome. Purpose, direct energy to the controllable sphere. Practice, in any endeavor, work project, sports, conversation, creative pursuit. Define clearly what actions, efforts, preparation, and attitudes are within your control. E.g., researching thoroughly, practicing diligently, speaking honestly, listening attentively, giving full effort. Commit wholeheartedly to those elements. Pour your energy into the process. Mentally detach from the specific outcome. Use the reserve clause. Your worth is tied to the quality of your effort and intention, not the result. I will prepare for this interview as well as I possibly can. The hiring decision is theirs, not mine. 5. Managing relationships. Per insight, you cannot control others' thoughts, feelings, or actions. You can control your own judgments about them, your reactions, and how you behave towards them. Practice. Detach from needing approval. Do your best to be kind, honest, and fair. Recognize that whether others like, respect, or agree with you is outside your control. Their opinion does not define your worth. Respond, don't react. When someone is rude or hurtful, pause. Your initial feeling might be hurt/anger, proto-emotion. Your judgment, they must respect me. This is intolerable. And reaction, lashing out, are within control. Choose a just and temperate response, or choose to disengage calmly. Their rudeness reflects on them. I control whether I respond in kind or with calm dignity. Set boundaries virtuously. You control what behavior you accept near you. Setting a boundary is an action within your control. How the other person reacts is not. I cannot control your yelling, but I can choose to end this conversation until we can speak calmly. Focus on your action. Love without possession. Care deeply for others, but recognize their autonomy. You cannot control their choices, health, or feelings. Love them as beings outside your control, wishing them well but not demanding they fulfill your expectations. 6. Dealing with adversity, illness, loss, failure. Stoic fortitude. This is where the dichotomy shines brightest. Practice. Radical acceptance. Acknowledge the reality of the situation. This illness has happened/is happening. The job loss is real. Fighting the reality wastes energy needed for response. Dichotomy drill. What aspects of this are absolutely outside my control? The diagnosis itself, the past, the market crash. What aspects can I influence? Treatment adherence, seeking support, managing symptoms, job searching. What is completely within my control? My attitude, my courage, my perseverance, my choices moment to moment, finding meaning in suffering. Focus on the controllable response. I cannot control having cancer, but I can control how I face it, with courage, seeking treatment diligently, cherishing moments, not succumbing to despair. I cannot control being laid off, but I can control updating my resume, networking, managing finances prudently, and viewing this as an opportunity for redirection. Find the handle. Epictetus. Every situation, no matter how bad, offers something within your control, the chance to practice a virtue, courage in pain, patience in recovery, justice in how you treat others despite your own hardship. Wisdom in finding perspective. 7. Managing desire and aversion. Purpose. Achieve inner freedom from being ruled by cravings and fears related to externals. Practice. Examine desires. Do I desire this? Wealth? Fame? Specific outcome? As if it were the ultimate good? Is it truly within my control? Can I shift my desire towards virtuously pursuing it without needing it for happiness? Moderate attachment. Enjoy preferred indifference when present, but hold them lightly. Remind yourself they are temporary and not yours by right. Practice voluntary discomfort, e.g., occasional fasting, cold showers, simplicity, to prove you don't need them and strengthen resilience. Examine aversions. Do I fear/avoid this? Poverty, criticism, discomfort, as if it were the ultimate evil? Is it truly within my control? Can I cultivate courage to face it if necessary, or acceptance if it occurs? Can I see it as an opportunity? Gradual exposure. Consciously face minor dispreferred indifference to build tolerance and realize they are endurable, e.g., speak up in a meeting despite fear of judgment, do a chore you dislike mindfully. Psychological benefits and modern relevance. 1. Reduction of anxiety and stress. By ceasing the futile fight against the uncontrollable future outcomes, others' actions, a major source of chronic anxiety is removed. Worry diminishes when energy is directed only to actionable steps. 2. Increased resilience. Accepting adversity as part of life and focusing on the controllable response builds psychological toughness. Setbacks become challenges to practice virtue, not existential threats. 3. Enhanced focus and productivity. Energy previously wasted on worrying about results or others' opinions is redirected to the task at hand. The process, the effort, the quality of work within your control. 4. Improved emotional regulation. Recognizing that emotions are significantly shaped by judgments within control allows for greater mastery over destructive passions like rage, envy, and despair. Calmness and equanimity increase. 5. Greater autonomy and freedom. True freedom is found not in controlling the world, but in mastering your own mind and choices. You become less reactive, less dependent on externals for validation or happiness. 6. Stronger relationships. Detaching from the need to control others fosters healthier interactions based on acceptance, respect for autonomy, and focusing on your own virtuous behavior. Reduces conflict stemming from unmet expectations. 7. Foundation for modern therapies. The core principles of the dichotomy are central to cognitive behavioral therapy and acceptance and commitment therapy that focuses on identifying and changing maladaptive thoughts, judgments. ACT emphasizes accepting uncontrollable thoughts/feelings while committing to value-driven actions, focusing on the controllable. Common misinterpretations, criticisms, and responses. 1. It's passivity, fatalism, nihilism. Response, as emphasized, it's the opposite. Its active focus on the only domain where action is truly effective, your own judgments and choices. Acceptance is the precursor to effective action based on reality, not fantasy. Amor fati is embracing reality to act virtuously within it, not surrendering to it passively. It affirms meaning in virtue and prohairesis. 2. It's emotionally repressive/cold. Response. Stoicism aims not to eliminate feeling, but to eliminate destructive, irrational passions caused by false judgments. It cultivates rational, positive feelings like joy from virtue, affection based on reason, and deep contentment. Marcus Aurelius' meditations overflow with reminders of kindness and social duty. 3. It ignores systemic injustice/privilege. Response. A valid critique if misapplied. Stoicism doesn't deny the reality or pain of injustice. It offers a tool for individual resilience within adverse circumstances. Crucially, justice is a cardinal virtue. Focusing on what you can control includes acting justly, speaking out against injustice where possible, and fulfilling your social roles ethically, even if the larger system is outside your individual control to overhaul. Epictetus, a slave, used it to maintain inner freedom. It's a tool for endurance and ethical action within one's sphere of influence. 4. It's impossible to be perfectly indifferent. Response. Absolutely true. The Stoic sage is an ideal. The goal is progress, not perfection. We will still feel initial pangs, have preferences, and sometimes misjudge control. The practice is constant awareness, correction, and striving to improve the ratio of time spent focused on the controllable versus fretting over the uncontrollable. Falling short is human. Recognizing it and recommitting is Stoic practice. 5. It devalues relationships and external goods. Response. Stoics valued relationships deeply as part of human nature and social duty. They valued preferred indifference. The difference is they didn't see them as the source of ultimate good or evil. You can love your family intensely while recognizing their health and choices are ultimately not yours to control. You can work hard for wealth while knowing it's not the measure of your worth. This can lead to healthier relationships and ambition, free from desperation and possessiveness. 8. Conclusion. The path to the invincible mind. The Stoic dichotomy of control is not a quick fix or a simplistic slogan. It is a profound, demanding, yet immensely liberating philosophy of life. It requires constant vigilance, rigorous self-honesty, and disciplined practice. It asks us to relinquish the illusion of controlling the vast, chaotic external world and instead turn our attention inwards to the one true domain of sovereignty, our own mind, our judgments, our choices, our will, our character. By mastering this distinction, focusing all our energy and intention on what is up to us, our prohairesis, and accepting with serene indifference what is not, we achieve a state the Stoics called the invincible mind. This doesn't mean we are never affected by externals, but that our core tranquility, our moral compass, and our capacity for virtuous action remain unshaken. We become like a sturdy tree in a storm. The winds may rage and tear at our branches, but our roots hold firm. In a modern world characterized by anxiety, distraction, and a desperate grasping for control over the uncontrollable, the Stoic dichotomy offers an ancient but urgently relevant path to genuine freedom, resilience, and peace. It is the art of distinguishing the chess pieces from the chessboard, focusing intently on playing your pieces well with wisdom and courage, while accepting the moves of your opponent and the rules of the game as simply the conditions within which you exercise your skill. The ultimate victory lies not in controlling the game, but in mastering your own play. I hope guys this video is helpful for you, so for more interesting videos, do subscribe the channel and don't forget to press the bell icon.